payments in a quick and seamless manner through an on-device wallet. To encourage wider adoption of UPI Lite, it is now proposed to bring it under the e-mandate framework by introducing a facility for customers to automatically replenish their UPI Lite wallets if the balance goes below the threshold limit set by them. There could be some, I think if you want better clarity, this statement will be uploaded immediately after my, my transformation. The first two editions of the hackathon were completed in the year 2022 and 2023. The third edition of the Global Hackathon, Harbinger 2024, with two themes, namely Zero Financial Frauds and being Divyang Friendly, will be launched shortly. Let me now conclude. At the Reserve Bank, our job demands poise, patience and perseverance. India's recent economic progress, continued momentum in economic activity and the overall promising economic prospects validate our approach to policy making. At the moment, the Indian economy is at an inflection point in its path towards greater transformational changes that will bring about more stability and growth. As the Reserve Bank approaches its centenary year, that is RBI at 100, it will gear up even more to remain future ready for India's fast growing economy. It will take steps to enhance India's global footprint. For our journey during the next decade, we have drawn up strategies consisting of policy actions towards positioning the Reserve Bank as a model central bank of the global south. The agenda for the run-up to RBI at 100 is documented in the annex to this statement. I urge all keen observers of the Indian economy and the financial system to take a close look at these action plans. This is not a static document. It cannot be a static document, as we are living in a dynamic world. Our endeavor will be to continually update it as may be required from time to time. I would now turn to the decisions and deliberations of the Monetary Policy Committee. The Monetary Policy Committee met on 5th, 6th and 7th June. After detailed assessment of the evolving macroeconomic and financial developments and the outlook, the MPC decided by a 4:2 majority to keep the policy repo rate unchanged at 6.5%. Consequently, the standing deposit facility, that is SDF, rate remains at 6.25% and the marginal standing facility, that is MSF rate, and the bank rate at 6.75%. The MPC also decided by a majority of 4 out of 6 members to remain focused on withdrawal of accommodation to ensure that inflation progressively aligns to the target while supporting growth. I shall now briefly set out the rationale for these decisions. The inflation growth balance is moving favorably. Growth is holding firm. Inflation continues to moderate, mainly driven by the core component, which reached its lowest level in the current series in April 2024. The deflation in fuel prices is ongoing. Food inflation, however, remains elevated. While the MPC took note of the disinflation achieved so far without hurting growth, It remains vigilant to any upside risks to inflation, particularly from food inflation, which could possibly derail the path of disinflation. Hence, monetary policy must continue to remain disinflationary and be resolute in its commitment to aligning inflation to the target of 4% on a durable basis. Sustained price stability would set strong foundations for a period of high growth. Accordingly, the MPC decided to keep the policy repo rate unchanged at 6.5% in this meeting of the MPC. The MPC also decided to remain focused on withdrawal of accommodation to ensure anchoring of inflation expectations and fuller policy transmission. I would now like to provide an assessment of the growth and inflation conditions. Let me first briefly touch upon global growth. Global growth is sustaining its momentum in 2024 and is likely to remain resilient, supported by rebound in global trade. Inflation is easing, but the final leg of this disinflation journey may be tough. Central banks remain steadfast and data dependent in their fight against inflation. Market expectations regarding timing and pace of interest rate cuts are also changing with incoming data and central bank communication. US dollar and sovereign bond yields remain range bound. While gold prices have surged on safe haven demand, equity markets have gained in both advanced and emerging market economies since the last MPC meeting in April. Let me focus now on the domestic growth conditions. The provisional estimates released by the National Statistical Office, NSO, placed India's real gross domestic product, that is GDP growth, at 8.2% for the year 23-24. During 24-25, that is during the current year so far, domestic economic activity has maintained resilience.